Our case study is culture clash in the boardroom. What is culture conflict? It is a type of conflict that occurs when different cultural values and beliefs clash. It has been used to explain violence and crime. So, it is a conflict between a cultures or disagreements between two parties of different beliefs, values, and practices. And this case is a primary example of the issues that arise when conducting international business and shows the various difficulties global companies may face while entering a new market or country. In this case, a conflict in the culture business it arises between the two companies, the German and Chinese. So, Alman Chemical is a German parent company which started its operation in 1999 in China. So, it was involved in two joint ventures with local companies in the China. And it was having 70% of stock in one of the company and 51% of stake in other company which was Chongqing. Chongqing is a local company in China. Liu is the president of Alman Chemical, is thinking about the company's long term reputation and ethics, whereas the Chinese executives are thinking of instant profits. The main issue in the case is the problem is that the culture was proving to be an obstacle in a joint venture between the companies, both the companies, German and Chinese. The cultural differences were causing issues for the joint venture in terms of generating sales and profits, hence declining in their performance. So the China is required to comply with the US government's Foreign Corrupt Practice Act. So to comply, they should convince the jogging executives. It is experiencing some financial problems that their sales are not becoming concrete. In order to accomplish target sales, they should attract new customers without considering any type of bribery. Further issues will be discussed by Venu.
Hello, hi everyone. After hearing the recordings about the issues of my friend issues regarding Chinese and German issues, now I am going to explain you about the arguments of the Chinese and the German arguments. Consider the Chinese argument that all of the companies in the country participate in these practices and in turn have a high percentage of sales. The parent company, depending on the country's sales in the future, expenses are too high and they need a tighter control on cost. When coming to the Germans argument, the Germans argue that plans to set the standard for new company coming into the industry in China uphold the standards set by the Security and Exchange Committee and remains ethical by all means necessary. These are the arguments done by both German and Chinese companies, and moreover, the main issue arises when the business is being conducted abroad. Different countries are targeted, and there are many differences in the culture, which causes different problems for the different countries, countries. Similarly, the problem arose with the joint venture between Almond Chemical and a German-based company and a local company, which is a local company in China. The German-based company was trying to expand its reach in China and wanted to gain a perfect position in the market. The main issue that the company faces while expanding its market value is cultural differences. Whenever we are crossing across one country, there may be different cultural differences arises. In Chinese culture, the business decisions were made quite smoothly and effectively. The business decisions were made on before the network connections or the relation between the two countries. It was trended in the Chinese market that the company have good connections with the vendor than other company. The company good connection with the vendor was supposed to win the deal. Wherever we consider the result of the company depends upon how we deal with the other companies. There was the normal culture of Chinese business. Mostly Chinese people do the same type of business by having a relational behavior with other companies. There was a small amount of bribe involvement necessary for doing business smoothly. This was a normal way of doing business in China to play golf together and presenting gift to the clients and playing the purchase and giving the purchase manager of the other companies. Some people give cars, gifts, some people give some bribery like writing some gifts like giving some lands and some percentages of the business deal. The Germans realized that this was totally against the entire culture and their ethical values. The German company was destined to do business in a formal and straight path manner. All the decisions were according to the German standards and policies, considering in a formal and straight and path manner. Now, when coming to the German culture, all the decisions were according to the German standard and policies. Considering the Chinese culture of doing business, it was totally against the corporate culture of Allman Chemical. One of the critical issues was that Germans were quite formal and disciplined. They had standard of for everything and made them compulsory in their business involvement. Now, now my friend Vamsi will continue the further discussion.
Yeah, after looking into the Germans and Chinese arguments, now we go into the Chinese solution. First, looking into the Chinese solution, to find a way to provide a commission or gift on the sale. Chinese offers the trips, golf outings, provide less protective gear or provide gear meeting Chinese standards. And now looking into the German solution, should always maintain a standard of ethics, which include providing no commission or gift or bribing. Practice the same standard of safety at all chemical plant across the world in all standards. And finally, I conclude that maintain standards of safety across the board and get all managers on the same page when it comes to the cost. In this case, if I were in loose position, I would probably stay true to the culture of German business. I would not bend the company's policies in order to please a possible business partner. I feel like the worst thing a company can do is go against its own business culture. Once a company loses respect for its own business culture, it loses its primary goals and visions and were set before it decided to open up its business to the international business market. The prime example of this is Google and China situation. Here the problem is that Google cannot go against its policies and against its privacy policies, and Google is facing some problem with the rules and restrictions from the Chinese government. In result, China wanted to censor that Google and control what its people could search. This went against the culture of China, culture of Google, or maybe the policies of the Google. As a result, there is no Google in China. As stated in this case, the joint venture seems to be causing the company more money as every day goes by. Maybe the company should be focusing on whether the joint ventures was the right move for both companies before they try to tackle any other issues.
Thank you.